Early humans were struggling to crack open tough clams. A tribe was searching for food along the seashore when they discovered several large clams. They tried opening the clams with their hands and stones, but the hard shells refused to break. After a long time, frustration began to grow. The food was right in front of them, yet they could not eat it. Meanwhile, a few clams accidentally rolled onto some hot rocks near the fire. Moments later, one of the clams slowly opened by itself. Warm steam and rich broth escaped from inside, and the tribe watched in amazement. Curious about what happened, they placed more clams onto the heated rocks. Soon, several clams began opening on their own. One woman picked up a large turtle shell and started collecting the open clams inside it. The turtle shell was then placed near the fire, allowing the clam broth to slowly gather inside. Moments later, a fragrant seafood soup had formed inside the shell. The tribe tasted the new food for the first time, and the flavor was far better than they had expected. And that is how early humans learned to cook clams with heat and create one of their first seafood meals using the natural broth inside the shells. They dropped the leftover bones from a hunt into water, but a few hours later, they created a rich broth that amazed the entire tribe. During a harsh winter, the tribe was struggling with a shortage of food. Every successful hunt was essential for their survival. One day, the hunters managed to bring down a large animal. The entire tribe gathered to enjoy the meat. After the meal, only large bones remained. Most people saw them as useless leftovers. But one elder decided not to throw the bones away. A new idea had begun to form in his mind. He filled a large stone vessel with water and placed all the bones inside. The vessel was then positioned beside the fire. Slowly, the water began to heat up. After some time, tiny bubbles started forming around the bones. The water gradually began to change color, and a rich aroma slowly spread throughout the camp. Curious tribe members gathered around the vessel. Everyone wanted to know what was happening inside. The elder stirred the liquid with a wooden stick. It no longer looked like ordinary water. The broth had become thicker and golden in color. Its aroma grew stronger with every passing moment. Finally, the elder took the first sip of the broth. Within seconds, his expression changed. It was warm, rich, and surprisingly flavorful. He immediately offered it to the others. Soon, the entire tribe was drinking the broth. Everyone felt warmer, stronger, and more energized. And that is how early humans learned to make a powerful bone broth from leftover bones, creating a nourishing food that would become an important part of their survival. Why did early humans put potatoes into hot oil for the first time? And how did a simple accident lead to the discovery of the world's famous French fries? During a harsh winter, a tribe was struggling to find enough food. Whatever food they found was usually roasted over a fire. One day, the hunters discovered several large potatoes buried beneath the ground. Excited by their discovery, they carried them back to the camp. That night, the potatoes were roasted over the fire, and the tribe eagerly ate them to satisfy their hunger. But one young hunter wanted to try something different. He was searching for a way to improve the taste of their food. Meanwhile, he began heating animal fat inside a stone container. Slowly, the fat melted into a hot liquid. The hunter picked up a potato and cut it into long, thin strips. The tribe watched in surprise. They had never seen a potato prepared in that shape before. Curious, he dropped one potato strip into the hot melted fat. Immediately, tiny bubbles began to form around it. Moments later, the potato started turning golden, and a completely new aroma began to spread through the air. The hunter carefully removed it from the hot fat. It looked crispier and more appetizing than before. He tasted a small piece. With its crunchy texture, the flavor felt completely different. Amazed by the result, he began cooking more potato strips the same way. Soon, the entire container was filled with golden crispy strips. The delicious aroma spread throughout the camp, and all the tribe members gathered around the fire. Everyone tasted the new food and was amazed by its unique flavor and crispy texture. And that is how early humans discovered a new and delicious way to cook potato strips in hot fat, creating a food that would later become known as French fries. Chips fire. A simple wild leaf accidentally fell into the fire, but its aroma changed the taste of human food forever. After a harsh winter, the tribe traveled far in search of food. But their meals were always the same and lacked flavor. One day, a hunter came across strange green plants with a unique scent at the base of a hillside. He carefully picked a few leaves and examined them. Curious, he crushed the leaves between his hands. A distinctive aroma instantly spread through the air. Surprised by the scent, he gathered more leaves. Then he carried them back to the camp. That night, the tribe was roasting meat around the campfire. Everyone was preparing their usual meal. Suddenly, a few leaves slipped from the hunter's hand and fell into the fire. Moments later, a new aroma began drifting through the air with the smoke. The tribe members looked around in surprise. They had never smelled anything like it before. The fragrant smoke slowly wrapped around the roasting meat. The meat began absorbing the rich aroma. Curious, the hunter tasted the meat. The flavor was completely different from before. Soon, the entire tribe was eating the same meat. Everyone was amazed by the new taste. The next day, the hunter set out to search for more plants. He wanted to discover which leaves produced the best aroma. He experimented with many different plants. Some were useless, while others made the food taste even better. As winter approached, he worried that the leaves would soon disappear. He decided to dry them inside a cave. Several days later, the leaves had completely dried. But surprisingly, their aroma was still trapped inside. He crushed the dried leaves into a fine powder. When the powder was sprinkled over the meat, the flavor returned, stronger and better than ever before. And that is how early humans first learned to dry herbs and use them as seasoning.
Eat well, my friends!
Yes, to the hunters.
Imagine holding a rope, then suddenly seeing something terrifying crawling out of the well beneath you.
Oh my God!
In a small village, there was an old well that the villagers depended on for drinking water and for their animals. But one day, something strange started happening. Every time someone lowered a bucket into the well, the rope came back up alone, without the bucket. Once, twice, then again and again. Soon the entire village became terrified. People gathered around the well, whispering nervously, fear spreading through every conversation. One man said, "This can't be normal. The well must be haunted." Another replied, "It has to be jinn living down there." Rumors spread quickly until people became too afraid to even approach the well after sunset. After days of fear and confusion, one villager finally suggested, "The only way to know the truth is for someone to go down into the well." Silence fell over the crowd. Everyone looked at each other, but no one dared volunteer. Fear was stronger than curiosity. Then suddenly, one man stepped forward and said firmly, "I'll go." The villagers were shocked by his courage, but the man had one condition: "I want my brother to be the first person holding the rope." The villagers looked confused. "There are many of us here," they told him. "We'll all hold the rope together. Why insist on your brother?" But the man remained strangely determined. He refused to go down unless his brother stood at the front holding the rope. Since nobody else was brave enough to take the risk, the villagers sent someone to bring his brother. When he arrived, he immediately took his place at the front and gripped the rope tightly. The villagers stood around nervously as the man slowly descended into the darkness of the well. The deeper he went, the quieter the crowd became, until he completely disappeared into the shadows below. When the man finally reached the bottom, he carefully searched the area. Then suddenly, he discovered the truth. There was no jinn, no ghost, no curse. It was only a monkey hiding inside the well. Whenever the bucket came down, the monkey would grab it and detach it from the rope. The man smiled in relief. Then he placed the monkey on top of his head so the villagers could see what had really been causing the problem. The villagers slowly began pulling the rope back up. Little by little, the man approached the top of the well. But as soon as the villagers saw a strange, hairy figure rising out of the darkness, panic exploded. Someone screamed, "A jinn! Run!" In total chaos, everyone let go of the rope and fled in terror. Everyone, except one person, his brother. His brother was now standing there alone, holding the rope with all his strength. His hands trembled. The rope burned against his palms, but he refused to let go. He wasn't thinking about himself anymore. His only fear was that his brother would fall back into the well and die. So he kept fighting, pulling with every ounce of strength he had, until he finally managed to bring his brother safely out of the well. When the villagers realized the truth, shame filled their faces, and in that moment, they finally understood why the man had insisted on his brother from the very beginning. In moments of fear, many people may abandon you no matter what they promised. But a true brother is the one who keeps holding the rope when everyone else lets go. Many people stand beside you when life is easy, but only a few will still hold on to you when you begin to fall. Some people hold your hand when life is easy. Only a few hold the rope when your life depends on it. Write Amen and share this story.